Hello and welcome to our Room 1133 virtual curriculum night. It is my pleasure to introduce you and welcome you to our Advanced English Language Arts class. I, of course, am Mrs. Bryson. Clearly from my accent, I'm not from around here. I was actually born in France. My father's French. Was brought up in England to a family that is originally Welsh. I'm a second career teacher. I was qualified in the state of Iowa, certified in ELA Science and Social Studies. Also got my reading endorsement. However, here I am just doing my ELA. This is my 5th year at DeSana. I followed Miss North from Piney Grove. When I'm not teaching, I like to hang with my family whenever I can, which isn't that often since my son has been in the Navy, but now he's at Georgia State, so I feel quite spoiled. My daughter Stephanie, who lives in Perth, Australia, and of course my husband Paul, who I see plenty of, especially right now, since he's working from home. He works for Ryder. I like to hang out with my puppies. That is Yuffie at the bottom. She is an elderly lady. And then our bouncing 7-month-old puppy, Toffee Girl, is quite a light and joy in our life. I also have a wonderful horse, Diablo del Sol, known as Sunny. I competed on him quite regularly until a couple of years ago. We slowed down last year, and at the fine old age of 28, this year we've decided to give him a little bit of a break. We just keep him fit and have some nice fun rides. And then, of course, there's football or soccer. I am slightly obsessed with the sport. Was delighted when we got a local team. So Paul and I have season tickets in the crazy section at Mercedes-Benz. And we're looking forward to the days we can actually go back and watch games again. I come from Liverpool, so my home team is Everton, and I'm pretty passionate about my club. And so my husband and I go downtown to Atlanta every week during the season to join a bunch of other crazy, often expatriate English people, where we enjoy watching a good game of soccer on the television together. So, how I feel about ELA? Well, our class is not just about ELA. I really want to create a space that our dragons want to come to, even through the limitations that COVID has given us. Sure, we might be sitting in rows and we might have masks on, but we can still discuss and share and stand up when we answer and share the joy of reading and writing. I'm trying to get us to slowly grow as a team with the virtual and the face-to-face, trying to bring in some things that we can share and do together, whether it's our live help session, our virtual help session on a Thursday evening, or whether it's sharing our favorite books and our quotes on the classroom walls. My goal is to make our room a safe, fun place to explore our reading, writing, and communication, and so that students aren't scared to try something new. I'm also trying to encourage our students to take roles to run the class as well. Some of them are already doing a fine job of that, doing things like keeping attendance, making sure if anyone's absent, they know what they missed. But it's not all fun and games. So this is how our day works. Our students get to leave their ELA materials at their desks. It is the only class I teach face-to-face. My other 150 students are all virtual. So my advanced class have the privilege of having their own desk and being able to leave everything there. Every day we start with reading, just 8 to 10 minutes of silent focus. It's a nice relaxing time where students can catch up with their reading. We then do some sort of vocabulary and root word practice, and then it's time for learning and sharing. Independence is the name of the game. One of the things I realized last spring was how much we do for our students. So my goal this year was to really truly help them to become independent learners. And since they are the advanced class, even more than ever, the students need to be able to learn to look at assignments and be able to get creative and think of ways to produce responses without everything being written down in ABC 1, 2, 3 format. So my goal is that we review what they know, we make our connections, they learn something new, and then they get to practice. Everything we do is based on the English Language Arts Georgia Standards of Excellence. I'm sure you're happy to know that. So we have our standards in reading informational, reading literature, writing, and also speaking and listening skills. For example, in elementary school, students needed to be able to find a point of view of the narrator or speaker in a text. Now they start looking at how an author develops it and the why and how beneath each one of these standards. That's the main difference in 6th grade. We start to think about purposes and reasons for things. We have formatives and summatives. Our formatives are the assessments, things like homework, classwork, quizzes, quick checks, things that let me know that students are doing the work and they're doing the practice and how is it going. And then we have our summatives. Our summatives are our final tests of learning. So it could be a project to show me what you know. It could be a unit test. That's what comes at the end of a section after teaching a standard or at the end of the unit. This year, we're trying something a little bit new where we're dividing things up. So instead of one massive test at the end of the unit, we're actually testing each standard as we go. Our summatives have an opportunity to retake assessments if students have followed the relearn and recovery process. In the first semester, they can retake up to 90%. In the second semester, up to 80%, preparing them a little for the rigor and expectations of 7th grade. I will set a deadline for completion of those things, and those will all be communicated on It's Learning. If you look at Infinite Campus and you see an M, it means the student's work is missing, an I is incomplete, and X is exempt. In Mrs. Bryson's class, those formative assignments don't actually count towards the summative grade, but you will still get this information so you know how your students are doing and you can keep an eye on things. In my heart, it's all about the learning more than the grades. Did you watch the video I posted? If you didn't, go to your Parent Picks and Peeks folder and you'll be able to see a video about my beliefs on grading. I really believe that it's not a competition between students. It's more, how can your student be the best he or she can be? Just think about if a student looked at an assignment and thought about what they were learning instead of asking, is this for a grade? Think about if you knew your student's strengths and not just a number at the end of the day. That's my goal. My goal is to share the feedback with you that the students get so you know how they're doing instead of just giving you a number. Now, how do you know what's going on? So every Sunday, I send an email to your Infinite Campus email. It's a blast email letting you know what's going on in the week ahead. You're welcome to delete it. You're welcome to read it. If you're not getting it, check your junk mail or check your Infinite Campus email. You can also see a copy of it saved in your parent folder because I do make a copy of it every time I send it. You can also go onto Instagram and see some pictures and updates. You can go onto your It's Learning planner. And of course, we have every month e-news where you get to see what's going on in every content area. When you're checking It's Learning, make sure you use the student login and don't look at the tasks over on the right-hand side. Rather, you can go straight to the planner. If you look in the planner, you're going to see their resources and their activities. And you'll notice here I have some that are noted just for absent students. And that's if we have a student who happens to be quarantining right now. I'm working on making permissions clear so that the students can't actually see those. But sometimes they might pop up. And if they do, they should know if they weren't absent and they were in class, they do not have to do them. My goal is to make Room 1133 a thinking space. And that includes you too. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Please remember to encourage your dragons to contact me first. It's important that our students learn how to communicate well with an adult and/or a teacher so that they can learn how to ask the questions that matter and get help when they need it. We do have some needs in a Room 1133, and I'm always going to share them. We'd love to have paper towel and tissues and expo markers, and of course, especially in the world we live in today, Clorox wipes. Remember, I was a parent of a middle schooler too, twice. One was a fantastic experience that didn't need my involvement at all. The other one was a little bit more work. Thank you so much for listening and watching this. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, either by email or you can phone me. That is my teacher's cell phone. You can feel free to text me on that, and I would be happy to answer your questions or have a one-on-one time. Thank you and have a wonderful day.